listen sometimes.
Now that's a really interesting conversation right there. And we can start there. So I have said the same thing that I noticed the feedback about campaigns and nothing positive. So
Responses, or I guess what they think is good response, and they feel like they're not getting any type of response from people. So, yeah.
I hear that. Here's the thing. This is what I would say on that, Sherry. I learned from one of the real corporate job that I have, the only real good one that I had. My boss always said, if you find that you provide value and people responded in that way, like, oh, that was really good, you earn the right to ask. A lot of times, when we first were on here, because I've been on here for a little bit, it was known this is what you're doing. So we made money all the time because I used to always use the example, when you go to a strip club, you know you got to throw dollars. So when people put the stuff out, this is what we do, this is what make sure you blah, blah, blah. We used to have heart wars or love wars, competition, contests, all these different things, because that was the culture we had created over here, that you come in, you like what people say, you get hearts. Then it started getting very cliquish. And people start beefing with people and things like that. But I think if you can take it back to the culture of where it was, how it started, man, you can look on your post. You used to be able to look on your post and see 1,000 hearts on your post. So I think we're just having to get back to the culture. The people who cry about the hearts, I've noticed when I watched, they came in and they were like, I'm here, I'm this person, you're supposed to give me hearts. And if that's the if that's the attitude, they came to the wrong place.
Yes, I agree. Everyone still here?
So sounds like she's still not in a good spot. You just let me know, Amelie, when you're ready, because we're going to break down this red flags. Because I think it's actually a good topic. It's just not enough conversation around it, especially, I don't know, Sherry, did you have time to check out that video? I can repost it if you didn't see it.
You know what? When I click on here, it takes me to YouTube, minor attracted persons.
Oh yeah, that's just some of the different content that we put on there.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's just a subscription. You should have an option to subscribe. That was all that was. But the link is in the chat about the Instagram incident about the lady that was married. I think she said she got married in January and ended up getting a divorce in August.
Huh?
But she didn't pay attention to the red flags, and that's where she is. And
and which one is that? The Joyce Marie Moore YouTube link? Is that one? Let me see.
No, it should be an Instagram. So if you're clicking on the ARN link, that's just should be the subscription. But the YouTube link that is, I'm not sure which one you see, but
IG. Okay, I've got it.
Yeah. They have a YouTube. It looks like they kind of posted on a lot of different social media places. So it kind of went viral everywhere. I think it originally started on TikTok, and then they uploaded it on YouTube and some other social media site.
It's a few Instagram, 2 Instagrams in here.
Yeah, I think they posted it twice. I think Amelie posted it once, and I think Cassie, which is another person on ARN, posted it.
That was What's up, King Thoy? All right, so how y'all want to do this? We're gonna go official. I heard Miss Sherry's story. Miss Sherry, if you don't mind, hey King Thor, let me bring you up. We can start off proper. Just kind of ask you a few simple questions. Share whatever you want to share. And we're going to do a quick little mock interview / interview. See how we do. And then you can give me and Joyce feedback so that when we decide and get ready, we on the radio with this, you know, we can improve on our thing.
All right.
All right, Joyce, let me know when you're ready. If there's background, I can stop because I'm not that far from home, and he knows I'm on my way, so I'll just wait for Joyce. So I could ask anything that is off limit that you don't want me to ask. So I'm just gonna ask, like, oh, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna just dive right into what are some of the red flags that you've seen, and if you can share your experience with red flags. I'll try to set it up a little better than that.
You can keep going because it's been streaming. I never stopped it. Remember, I said we're going to just keep going because I'm not going to try and...
Oh, I wasn't even here. I didn't even know. I had read and dropped my phone because I had to use the bathroom. Bad.
Yeah, it's been
okay,
going.
So, all right. Well, I'll go ahead and get started, and you can clip it because I'm going to say where we are, what we're doing. So we're going to get started. I'll start right now, Joyce. All right, well, welcome everyone. We are on the ARN network, and I'm Millie. You know, we got Joyce on there with the recording and all the technical stuff. And today we have a special guest. Miss Sherry is going to join us. We're talking a lot about these red flags. You've been hearing it. All of a sudden, red flag is a thing. We didn't see the red flags. People saw the red flags and different things about these red flags, right? And we were having discussions about, do people even know what red flags are? Are red flags the same for everybody? As we dive more into that and get some more conversation, I definitely want to talk to Sherry, who is new on the Fanbase platform, about her experience with red flags. So Sherry, first off, thank you for being so kind and hopping on the hot seat without much prep and knowledge, right? But I want you to tell the people a little bit about you, and let's talk about some of your red flag experiences.
Well, thank you. First, let me say thank you for this opportunity. And this is one of those moments where they say you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And so
I hear that.
I'm Sherry Cook, and I'm in the DMV area. And yes, I am new to Club Fanbase. I'm new to Fanbase, but I'm a builder. I'm a connector. That's who I am. I've always been involved in community. I've always been involved in building the community and building people. And it's always been my goal, even before I knew what I was here for, even before what I knew what my purpose was. I always wanted to see the best in people. And so in 2009, I became a certified life coach. And I've just been motivating people ever since. And in my personal life, I'm a mom of 26-year-old fraternal twins. If I complain about them, I'd honestly be lying. They are typical 26-year-olds, but they are my biggest accomplishment. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, listen, look at that. We got lucky today. I appreciate that. We got lucky because what I wasn't expecting was a certified life coach. So, you know, I'm going to sit back. You definitely going to tell us your stories because I'm sure you have a lot to share. So what do you think these red flags? I know it's a fairly new phrase, right? Do you think they exist? Do you believe in them? And share with us some of your experience with red flags that you actually saw, or some that you didn't see. And I'm so honored to actually have a life coach here today. Okay, I'm turning over to you, Michelle. Let's get it in.
Oh, bless your heart. And yeah, I believe in the red flags. Daggone right I do. See, I think a lot of people will throw the red flags to the side and say, no, that's not true. But when we really get down to business and be honest, you saw that person pointed the finger at everyone else but himself. Truth is that we see when they're very disrespectful. And I can only speak from a woman's point of view, because don't get me wrong, that I do know that men experience red flags with women as well. Let's just go ahead and put that out there and be honest. I know that there are women who demonstrate red flags as well, but I'm a woman speaking from a woman's point of view dealing with a man. And yeah, did I see them? Of course I saw them. Of course I did. Pointing the finger at everyone else but himself. Everyone else was wrong, not him. Yeah, I saw them when he was very disrespectful to the waitress in the restaurant, right? For no reason at all, but just to be disrespectful. Yes, I saw that, right? Yeah, I saw when he got a little attitude with me one day in the grocery store and really demonstrated it better than he could say it when he walked out of the store and decided not to purchase anything. That's a red flag. We have to know what our boundaries are. And we have to know that when we see certain things that just don't sit well in our spirit, what they really are. Now, does it mean that I should have just ran at that moment? What it meant is that maybe I needed to take a back seat for a minute and just pay attention to what I'm seeing versus still jumping head in and just keep paddling, and I'm just going to see if this is going to work. I'm just going to keep on moving. Let me just keep doing this. This is going to, he'll change, right? That's what red flags are to me. So some of those things that we kind of ignore, but have really made us feel uncomfortable at times, but we continue to just move with it, even though it makes us feel a certain kind of way.
That's interesting. What would you say was one of the, or do you have, this is the most important lesson I learned by ignoring a red flag and also by paying attention to that red flag? Could you share us, an experience?
From what did I learn from ignoring the red flag, right? Is that what I heard? Ignoring the red flag?
Yes, an experience of you. What did you learn from you ignoring the red flag, and also like a good experience of you saying, not ignoring the red flag. You saw it in just both sides of the coin.
Wow. So, in ignoring the red flag, I set myself up for a space to always be disrespected. One time he literally told me, and this is, of course, in an intimate partner relationship, there are red flags for several different types of relationships, but this was an intimate partner relationship. And when he told me at that time that he would bust my head to the white meat. And in doing that, we were just having a really basic argument. It wasn't, or disagreement. It wasn't even anything to go off the handle with. But he told me, 3.5 months in, girl, whatever, I'll bust your head to the white meat. And I thought to myself, because I'm feisty, right? See, I know you're probably saying, yeah, whatever, Sherry. You know the Sherry that you're hearing today, right? You don't know where I've been, the past I've had, how I rolled, any of that, right? So feisty me, I responded back like, I wish you would. Right? So I was right, come on, let's do this. As a matter of fact, right? So but that should have been a red flag to me. So in ignoring that red flag, I learned that, see, Sherry, you just set yourself up for the rest of the next 3 years that I experienced with him, exactly what he dished out to me is what I allowed. Because in that moment when he told me that he would bust my head to the white meat, that should have been a red flag to me to say, wait a minute, hold up. Anybody that loves you, anybody that says that they care for you, would not talk to you like a dude on the street and tell you, I'll bust your head to the white meat, right? So that was one that I definitely ignored. I think on the good side of experiencing a red flag and running, I saw a red flag several years later, of course, when I was at the 7-Eleven. A young man said that he wanted to call me and get to know me. And I said, I wasn't interested. I wasn't. And I really wasn't interested in getting into a relationship. And so for the next few weeks, we would see each other getting coffee at the 7-Eleven. And so finally, I gave in maybe a few weeks later and gave him my number. We talked for 2 or 3 days on the phone nonstop. And the third day, I was sitting there and I made a call to call him like we had been doing the last 3 days, right? We were talking. I made a call to call him on my way home, and he didn't answer. And so I said, well, okay. So I went on home. Well, a little bit later, I called again before I went to bed, but he still didn't answer. So when he finally did call back, he was like, you just over there blowing up my phone? And what's wrong with you? Like, you over here ringing my phone? I said, I'm sorry, I only called you like twice. I don't get it. Long story short, he was very disrespectful on that call. I don't know where it came from. And then even when I would see him at the 7-Eleven after that, just really rude. Like really disrespectful. He used to buy the coffee for me and everything. I don't know what happened in those 3 days, but it definitely was a red flag for me. And I was grateful that it didn't go anywhere because, I don't even know how that went left so fast.
So after you told him, oh, no, I just called you, you said, you know what? After that, I'm not calling him back. I'm seeing that red flag, and that's it. Like, there's no more. Was it like that, or was it just like it just kind of fell apart at that point?
Oh, no, it was it. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, right?
Yeah, that was it. Mm-mm.
But here's a question I have, because some people might say, like you said, you were feisty, and you were like, I wish you would. And I spent most of my life in the DMV, so I know how we are. You don't get pushed. You're not a sucker out here, But what if people don't recognize? Do you find, even as a life coach, people that are used to a certain behavior because it's either neighborhood, culture, or whatever, like, for example, if you grew up in Southeast DC, you're going to have a certain type of attitude because you have to, right? Do you think there's some people that may not recognize that behavior as a red flag because it's the norm and they go through it? Or do you think everybody should be able to recognize a red flag?
Oh, no, I think that people are so used to seeing dysfunction. People are so used to seeing unhealthy, toxic. People are just used to seeing that. So no, I don't think that people should automatically or would automatically know, at all. And even though, and this is another thing to take from this, I didn't experience domestic violence or abuse in my family. I'm an only child of my mother, my single mom, and then I had my grandparents who were married, but I never experienced domestic violence. Now, did I experience arguing here and there? Yes, but I never experienced disrespect or abuse to the point that some people do. So I wouldn't know what a red flag was, right? It just, like I said, if I'm like you in this area, right? I grew up in the hood. if I know how to respond to my hood, I know how to make sure that I'm good. I know how to make sure that don't nobody take advantage of me because I'm an only child, right? So I'm going to beat you there. I'm not going to meet you there. I'm going to beat you there, right? So if that's all that I know, that I have to be ready because daddy said, don't you ever let nobody catch you off guard, right? I wouldn't know that that was a red flag. So even after I saw it and realized what I was in, I was like, who, me? Like, how did I get into an abusive relationship? That's not me, So no, I don't think that most people recognize it.
You know, you made a very great point. I think, and I hear that a lot, and I've even noticed that with me. Like, no, that's not me. I can't be experiencing that, and it's like almost denial, right? You're such in a state of denial, like you're changing the colors of the flag as you deal with the situation because you know it's red, but because you are like, you know who you are, or at least believe that you know who you are, solid up and down, but you're like, this can't be me, so it can't be a red flag. So I completely understand that as a life coach, right? Do you find I would say, what is the most common red flags that you hear from people, and how do you help them with it?
Wow. What are the most common red flags? Now, when you say common red flags, would that be for relationship?
So, so you know what? I love the fact that you asked that question. You mentioned it earlier, and we were going to have another part because I do agree with you that red flags are not only in intimate relationships, but today we are speaking about intimate relationships, and we'll get into the friendship and the parents and all the other things if we even have time. But yes, in an intimate relationship, when you're counseling people or coaching people, as a life coach, what are the most common ones, and what's the best advice that you think you give to them?
I would say the most common one that I red flag that I see is justifying. I see a lot of people who justify a relationship, and those of us that might be a little more seasoned in life, thank you, Lord, we know that when you have to justify a relationship, it's not a relationship, it's a situation. Because nobody goes, they say, hey, so how is your husband? How's your boyfriend? How's your husband? And anytime that you have to go into, well, I mean, he's okay, and I don't know, but yeah, he's all right. Yeah, right? Or I'm with him because because he's just a really good guy, right? Anytime that you have to go into justifying why you are with someone, that automatically throws up a red flag to say that there's a little bit more that you're not thinking about with this. Right? Because if I'm with, or you're with someone, imagine that anybody here that may be listening who's married, when someone asks you about your husband or your significant other, what do you automatically think? Oh my God, he's good. Like, we're good. Get on my nerves sometimes, girl, but he is fine. Right? You don't go into, I don't know. So that's it for me, justifying.
Okay, I appreciate that. You hear that? Y'all, stop justifying these red flags and trying to change the color of this bad behavior. Okay?
That part.
I love that. I really love that. I mentioned this earlier because I believe I've heard this thing that's been going around a long time that I don't really agree with. Is these 80-20 relationship. Personally, I think an 80-20 relationship is just a bunch of red flags, 20% of red flags, because it's saying that as long as you have everything else and you don't have this 20% of whatever, then you're good. And I feel like that could be just red flags that you're ignoring. And I'm going to give you an example. Well, he's a good provider. He comes home early. He's a good provider. He's a good father. He's good with the children, but he is unfaithful. But it doesn't matter because you know what? The 80%, which is a good provider, which we would even consider a good husband, a good parent, it's like that's the 80%. So the rest of it, the disrespect by being unfaithful or whatever, it's like we're gonna let that go. Am I wrong in that thinking? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, when we're used to the world bringing us fragmented parts of them, of course we'll settle for fragmented parts of them, right? If we're so used to people, if you just bring me half of you, right, and do half of this, and if you just show up halfway, and then I come halfway, then guess what? Then we come at 100, not realizing that when the whole heart comes, the whole heart comes. It doesn't come 50, 80, 60, 20. What you got for me, I got for you. What have you done for me lately? That's not even how it works. But we've become conditioned to say, because we don't want to make other people feel bad too, right? So guess what? I'll do my part because I should do my part. And he says, well, you know what? I'm going to do my part. When we come together as a whole, how will we ever come together as a whole if everybody is doing a part?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't get it. So.
No, yeah, I mean that's how I feel. But that's what I believe. But I hear it all the time in some places, not all places. Like some different culture, when I hear them speak, they're like, "Oh no, if you're not coming whole as a man, or if you're not coming whole as a woman, then this is not the person for you, etc." But what I hear on in other area, and including some of these apps, is well, you're only going to get 80%. It's like almost being brainwashed that you have to settle. So if the other 20% could be those red flags that we talk about, right? Could be, well, he does everything, but he smacked me and it's okay. That's just that 20% that I can't have it all. Like under this mentality that you cannot have it all. You cannot have love and respect and honor from the same person in the same relationship. I would say this. I think we can definitely go deeper, but I want to ask you if you had an opportunity to watch I think her name is Tessa, the story with the lady that had the 50-part series about who did she marry. I believe the wedding was short-lived, and I guess they're saying that she saw all these red flags and she ignored the red flags. Are you familiar with the story?
I'm not, and I tried to start watching it, but it was kind of interfering with the being
audio. Yeah, so I guess this woman have a part Who Did I Marry? And it was on Instagram, not Instagram, I want to say TikTok. And she just went on Tamron Hall, and she's they're making a whole bunch of comments about it, which another subject we can go into about what Charlemagne said, and I think he should get his own daggone donkey of the day. But so it was her. They're saying that she ignored all the red flags and things like that. Me, from watching the videos, I can see how people can say she ignored the red flags, but I think that sometimes people can just lie and be so good at lying